Desperately needed humanitarian aid comes to a halt in Gaza. Tonight, relief groups are suspending service following the Israeli airstrike that killed 7 aid workers.
Take a moment to assess the environment and make sure that our staff are safe.
An American-Canadian dual citizen was among those killed in that airstrike. Good evening. I'm Julie Hayner.
And I'm Greg Lee. The workers volunteering with World Central Kitchen, a nonprofit that has been providing humanitarian aid in the Gaza war zone. That charity and others have since suspended deliveries of life-saving supplies to Gaza, where famine could impact more than 1 million Palestinians. KTVU's Jana Katsuyama joins us now. Jana, the IDF issued an apology today amid international outrage.
Greg and Julie, the UN, European Union, Great Britain, France, and other countries were very outspoken today condemning Israel's action. Israel's top military officials said today that it was a grave mistake, and they promised an independent investigation. Images of the gaping holes and shredded metal from the Israeli airstrike have sent shockwaves through the international community. The convoy of humanitarian aid workers with World Central Kitchen were in vehicles clearly marked with their nonprofit signs when they were bombed. On Tuesday afternoon, the World Central Kitchen posted the names and photos of their 7 colleagues who were killed. 1 Palestinian driver and the 6 foreign workers, an Australian woman, 1 man from Poland, a U.S.-Canadian dual citizen, and 3 British security guards. Co-workers gathered, grieving at a hospital in Rafah as their colleagues' remains were brought in. Other humanitarian aid groups operating in Gaza also heartbroken.
One of our employees actually was a cousin, a distant cousin of one of the victims. Really is heartbreaking and a real tragic incident that really has hit all of us in the humanitarian sphere.
Adam Fuller with the nonprofit Project Hope said this is just the latest in a mounting death toll of humanitarian workers trying to provide desperately needed aid to Palestinians who face famine conditions.
Over 200 humanitarian workers have been killed in Gaza since October. We also lost a staff member in an airstrike on their home in early March.
The former CEO of World Central Kitchen posted images of his Australian friend in an online article, remembering her smile, grieving the loss.
We were outraged to learn of an IDF strike.
National Security spokesman John Kirby and President Biden condemned Israel's actions. The president in a statement said, quote, Israel has not done enough to protect aid workers trying to deliver desperately needed help to civilians. Incidents like yesterday's simply should not happen. Israel has also not done enough to protect civilians. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said in a statement it was a, quote, tragic case of our forces unintentionally hitting innocent people. And Israel's military leaders later apologized in a 2.5-minute video.
It was a mistake that followed a misidentification at night during a war in a very complex conditions. It shouldn't have happened.
But that's little comfort to aid groups worried about how to now address the humanitarian crisis in Gaza.
Only 1/5 of what's needed on a daily basis is actually getting into Gaza itself and really remaining in the south because of the lack of access to the north.
The IDF said that they established a new humanitarian command center today to improve the coordination of aid distribution in Gaza. But Greg and Julie, basically Project Hope and others say that they're going to wait until Friday to assess the situation and the safety for their workers.
All right. Jana, thank you.